Hi, welcome to Back to School Night, Intro to Engineering and Architecture Student Parents, right, period 3 and 4. So the plan today is just to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to do in the class, what your students are getting themselves into, and, kind of maybe the beginning of a journey here toward maybe being an engineer, an architect, or a designer. So we start off with a little bit of sketching. So the idea of this class is to teach the kids to be designers. Designers, how they communicate their ideas to the people who are going to make their thing. Whether it's a building or a widget, there has to be a way for the person who designs it to communicate those ideas to the people who make it, and that's what I teach. They're not going to make anything in my class. That comes later if they do engineering, but pretty much all design stuff. And I'm going to show them different softwares and different tools to communicate those ideas. We started off a little bit with sketching because we didn't have devices yet, and that's an important part of what we do. But there's also other stuff, and we're getting into a software called Revit. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you my screen here. So Revit is a three-dimensional modeling software that is kind of hot in the industry right now, and it allows us to, basically have a virtual model, and we can see if there's any issues. We can find out if, for example, a structural beam is running into a HVAC duct, or a plumbing pipe is running right through the middle of a door, something like that. So we see that stuff in these models. So there's, less problem later on. So this is software we're learning right now. It's called Revit, and we're going through the process of just formally learning the software. And I've been doing this for a while now. I was the first high school teacher, I think, in the country to use this software back in 2003. And I've trained over 2,000 people how to use it, anywhere from 14-year-olds to 70-year-olds at the college level. I've trained professional firms, and then, of course, I've trained a whole bunch of high school students. So yeah, there's no way they can make mistakes I haven't seen before. So I'm looking forward to a good experience. Just getting this technology has kind of been sort of a struggle. They're going to create a set, this building basically, and they're going to create the construction drawings that go along with it. So everything from sketching, these are, we'll do hand sketching, to, creating the model, to, we'll actually do renderings of the inside. This is all the student, everything in here is the student. This is all the student stuff. We brought some trees in and stuff like that, but everything in the model is the student. So, we're going to teach them how to do this stuff. So that's Revit, and we'll be doing that for, a little while. Right now I'm just taking them through these tutorials. I'll call them Revit demos, and it's just a stair-step way to teach them the software. I'm just going to open up a book here. I forgot one more thing to open here. So when I did my first firm, when I was training my first firm, I had some issues with them paying attention to me. So they were, I was teaching them, and they were really eager to learn the software because they didn't learn the software, they were going to be fired. And so I was finding that they weren't listening to me. They were busy taking notes. And so after the first day, I was looking at myself going, man, that didn't work very well because these professionals are taking notes and not listening to me. So I went home that night and I wrote all the notes out for the next day. These are them. And I gave them like 10 pages, and we came in the next day and they had a chance to see these. It's like, oh, I see. He's already taken the notes for us. All we have to do is just listen, and we can always look at these if we have oh, I forgot that step. So that's what this is. So your student has been provided this book, and right now this is what we're doing. Right now, actually, in the last couple of days, we're making this little model. And this is, if you show your student this book, they go, oh yeah, that's what I did right there. Yeah, that's the model. This is the thing that they just turned in just this last week, and gave them some. Here's what it looks like, and this is what they gave me. This is going to go on for a while, and when we get to certain stages in the book, I'm going to have them save. And this is what they're going to turn into me. So I'm collecting the model at different steps. So this thing just kind of evolves over time. It's not like we're starting a brand new one and then starting a brand new one. It's going to evolve. And then as it does, the model's going to get bigger, and there's going to be more stuff. There's going to be more things inside of it. And as we go on, I'm going to teach them to put doors and windows and roofs and all kinds of cool stuff, and roof gutters, and putting it onto sheets, and all the stuff that I'm going to tell them is in this book. One of the nice things about the COVID is that because we're doing these things on Zoom meetings, we can record the Zoom meetings and we can provide them the recordings. And I've been doing that as well. So they have this book and they also have the Zoom recording. So between those two, and then just watching the demos, they should be able to do it. And they've got good backup. So they shouldn't be, if they're physically writing and taking notes, that's probably not a good strategy in my class. Because I want them watching and just kind of understanding what's going on, and they can always fall back on the notes or on the Zoom meeting. So so we'll be doing this for a while, and I'll be giving them here's what you need to do and all that stuff, and we'll be saving in increments, and you'll see those on cue when you see their grades. So if they're getting zeros, they're not turning these in. If they're getting scores of up to 8, then you know that they're getting the work done. Okay, so that's the architecture part. We're also going to get into a software later on called SolidWorks. So this is what designers use to communicate their ideas when they're designing stuff. It could be anything from a tractor to a drone to a bolt. They do a lot of stuff in SolidWorks, and it's sort of the new current way that engineers communicate their ideas. There's other softwares out there that do similar stuff, but SolidWorks in our area is the big daddy right now. So that'll be a portion of the class as well. Another portion of the class is going to be a software called AutoCAD. AutoCAD's been around a long time. It's sort of the grandfather of all this stuff, the first big CAD software. I picked it up in 1986. So really pretty long time ago. And I've been teaching it ever since. People have been using it longer than me. That wasn't even the beginning of it. This is a project done in AutoCAD. Let's see, what is the name of this project? South Corona High School. This is Santiago. And so this is one of the buildings. This is the C building, the science lab, and this is the way the architect, WLC Architects, Wolf Lane Christopher, designed our school. And it's not like that now. This industrial construction room is now, I think it's like a environmental science room or something like that right now. So, things go through phases. Our school's, 20 years old, so but similar. So this is the old original AutoCAD stuff. So we're going to learn how to use this software as well to communicate ideas. So Revit, SolidWorks, and AutoCAD are going to be the main softwares we use in this class. Just a little informational stuff. When they turn in work on time, they have a week to go back and make corrections if they don't like their score. So, for example, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to pick on somebody here. Let's see. So here's a sketch that was done by Jacob Collado. Sorry, Jacob, I'm stealing your sketch. What I do is I'll collect it. I'll do what's called a markup, where I put the red stuff on there. I'll give it a grade. And, if the student likes it, they can keep it. If that student wants a 7 and they're done, that's fine. 7 out of 8's an A. It's just not the highest A. And I'll give comments about what I want them to do. So if the student wants to go back and make the correction, they have a week from the due date after to make the correction. So they can get a higher score. No penalty. Now, I don't take late work. So if it's due on Friday and it's not done on Friday, then I don't collect it. They just have to find the point somewhere else. So I am, the industry wants me to teach deadlines. It's a really important part of the industry. And I've gotten a lot of, Bill, you've got to teach your students deadlines. I can't have students coming in here and not understanding that. And so it's like, okay, it'll be part of my curriculum and it'll be part of what I do. So my students are trained to meet their deadlines. And then, if it's not perfect, then it's not perfect. And they can go back and they know they've got that week to go back and make the correction. So that's the way, the class will go pretty much all the way through. All right. So I use a software called Bluebeam to do this, by the way. It's a PDF software. So I'll be teaching them that later on in the year as well. So they learn how to do this as well. It's a really important software in the industry. A lot of people use it in the architecture, engineering, construction community. So they'll be learning that as well. There'll be an opportunity to join Skills USA. Skills USA is a professional organization. It's the biggest one in the country. There's like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of students in it. And I'll be giving them the opportunity to join that if they're really serious about being an engineer, an architect, or in that construction industry. It's a good one to join. And they'll be part of competitions and things like that, and just extra opportunities to learn stuff and to network. So be looking for that as time comes on. So this is the first of a 4-year pathway. We have 2 4-year pathways. We have one in architecture, and we have one in engineering manufacturing. So this is the first class in both of those pathways. So they're in the right place. If they like architecture, then there's an architecture design class that comes after this. And if they want to go engineering manufacturing, there's a class called CAD 2 that comes after that would focus on this SolidWorks stuff. We have a really, really good program. I think my architecture program is one of the best in the country. I'm doing things that I know nobody else in the country is doing. So our kids have a really unique skill set, and they get jobs out of our program. If they go engineering, same thing. We have full-blown $50,000 Haas tool mills. For those of you in the industry, you know what those are. We have 3D printers, we have scanners, all kinds of current technology that will give your kids a benefit of knowing that stuff, and they go to the next level, whether it's work or community college or university. So looking forward to a good year. It starts off a little quirky here with the technology and all that stuff, but I think once we get get all that stuff worked out, we get into a comfort zone here. Even being in the remote situation, we'll make it work. They won't see my face, my old face. I've been doing this 31 years, so I've got gray hair and all that stuff, so they don't need to see that. Child abuse. And so, but once we get back into the room and stuff like that, then there'll be more stuff going on, and I can give you more information. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. We can set up a Zoom, or we can just communicate through email, and you can get questions answered, like what classes should I be taking next, or things like that. Or if they're having trouble with the assignments, we do have the remote time that they can connect with me, and they get extra help during that kind of after lunchtime. So that'll be available to them as well. In fact, I just threw an email out to invite them to the first one tomorrow if they need it. Have a great back to school night. Actually, well, this is back to school night, so these have already happened. So I have a great back to school night, and enjoy the rest of the year. And again, if you need to contact me, feel free to contact me at bbrown@cnusd.k12.ca.us. Enjoy the evening.